Hey, welcome, kids. It's the old 77
It's a safe place.
in an unsafe world. Hey! Apparently, I heard in a whisper before the show started that Dave has a
A friend.
friend of the show.
A new friend of the show. It's safe place.
That's right, it is safe place.
Not safe space.
Ugh,
Now you know.
now you know. And that's half the battle.
That's half the
G.I.
battle.
Joe. Yo, Joe.
Yeah. So I was telling Scott, I got an email from the lady at church today, and she referred to me as safe space
Safe space.
with a little winky at the end of it.
See, when you said that, I was like, oh my God, she's calling you a snowflake.
Yeah.
You need a safe space day.
Because you're not getting your check on time.
Yeah. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
Like, oof.
Nope.
Oof, bro.
She was referring to the show. So we have a new friend of the show, Eva. We appreciate you.
Well, hey, don't fire Dave. It's just
No.
a show.
I don't think Eva can fire me.
Dave plays for the Lord.
I do. I
Yep.
do. It refreshes my spirit every Sunday morning.
And your pocketbook every other month.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be once a month, but sometimes it ends up being a little less than that.
You know, I mean,
But now that we have a friend of the show,
That's
I have a
right.
feeling those paychecks are going to be coming fast next month.
oh yeah, well,
That
she's,
October paycheck is
and
going to...
she's hearing right now, I'm sure.
Oh, it's going to come so fast.
So fast.
How are you guys doing?
It's a Thursday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you know, we're getting by.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting by over here.
It's been a whirlwind of a week, man.
Has it?
I'm dreading Monday and them closing Truman. That's gonna suck.
They are closing the Truman
The
spot.
Truman Bridge.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you'll have to take,
Yep.
like, I don't know what way you come when you come from
When I come from home?
teaching.
Oh, well, that's on the way to the lake.
So you could.
Oh, wait, you mean when I come from teaching at night?
Same camera angle.
You mean when I'm teaching at night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, let's see. So, wait, are you talking about, I call it the country club exit, the mall
There we
exit,
go.
right? Is that
Yeah.
the same one you're talking about?
I guess you can still take. Yeah, you'd still be able to take that one. If you're ever on the boulevard though, trying to come over, you'll have to either go back down to 179
Or go to Bighorn and come back?
and come. Yeah.
Yeah. Right around the time they're done with all that construction is when I'll actually remember that.
Well, so that's what, 10 days that thing's going to be closed?
I am projecting 20.
Yeah.
So you're just going to play it safe. We're going to say 20 days.
Did they give us an official time that it's supposed to be closed for?
Yeah, they said they project the project to take 10 days.
Okay.
But my sarcasm says I see it take 20 because undoubtedly it's going to start to rain.
Yeah,
Yeah?
for sure. What are they actually doing?
I have no idea. They've been putting braces under the.
Bridge?
They've
Bridge.
resurfaced the bottom part of the bridge because it was kind of cracking in spots.
Yeah.
Oh, that
So-
makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Well, no, the outside. There's another little gnat
Yep.
in here. Another little Frank in training. Oh, my God.
Yep. Fuckers.
Oh, I hate those guys.
Yeah.
I swear to God, we're getting a Fox Farms thing of soil next time because we
Yeah.
still have those little bastards running
Yeah.
around here.
We have them at the office too because I brought some.
You did
plants.
the same bag, yeah.
I brought some plants home. We have they call them snake plants, mother-in-law's tongue.
I love mother-in-law's tongue.
Okay,
Yeah.
so good, you know.
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
It's
talking
a good plant.
Yeah.
No, seriously, the plant I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that we have was like dying at the office, and now since I've been taking care of it,
Yeah, funny how that works. Yeah.
now it's like so.
Is it thriving now?
It is thriving, and I
Well,
had
and
to
she just
separate it
replanted it,
several.
yeah.
Yeah, I tore off some things, but
So we use some of the soil that we have in that big-ass bag out there that's
Yeah.
full of gnats, apparently.
and how eloquently I was going to say I know because when I open the foyer every morning, they come flying up, and we've got stuff posted for Walk for Alzheimer's, which
Yeah.
is next weekend.
Yeah.
And there's like little bugs stuck on the paper between the paper and the glass. It drives me crazy.
You should put a fly strip up. Right? I mean,
You
I know
know-
those things
Yeah,
are
but
ugly.
nobody in a business wants to see a
Yeah.
fly strip hanging.
Yeah, I get
you
that.
know?
And especially, I mean, there's a certain
There's kind of a dirtiness to a fly strip.
There
you don't,
is.
You don't want to go into your local eatery
Yeah.
and sit under the fly strip.
Yeah.
I don't know. You
Although
might.
I've ate at a sale barn a couple of times that had fly strips.
Yeah.
And they had those great big rat traps on the side of the walls too. It's like a mouse trap on steroids.
Have you ever seen rats in Missouri? I don't think I've ever seen a rat in Missouri.
I've
seen them in St. Louis.
I'm sure they exist. Yeah, I was going to say.
I've seen them in the city.
Yeah.
I've never seen a rat other than the ones that you see at the pet store.
Yeah, me too. Thank goodness. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Mice I've seen.
I've seen lots of mice.
Oh yeah, we've had mice before in the studio before. Remember?
While recording. ran right.
It
down
ran
the
right around the
hallway
corner
there.
and it stopped right here at this corner and it looked at all three of us
Yeah.
and was like,
Mhm.
and I can tell in its little mousy brain it was going, oh fuck, what did I stumble across here?
Yeah.
Play it cool, mousy, play it cool.
Yeah.
All right, now get the hell out.
Oh, now we out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was holding his thumb up
Right.
like this, had a bag over
He was
his shoulder.
flipping us off as he took off, man.
Well, the field mice that do individually find our house find a gold mine because we've got the dogs and we've got the kids.
Every
Yeah.
friggin' year, it seems like, because we have that garage door. I would
Yeah.
love to get rid of that garage door,
Things can fit through the bottom of your garage door.
right?
Yeah.
And mice are, oh my god, dude! If a mice can get its head through something, it's in.
Yeah.
It's in.
Snakes. Sorry, didn't mean to say that word out loud.
Why do you hate me?
We don't say the S.
I had a snake in my basement.
We don't
once.
say the S word at our house, Dave.
It was a little one.
You have seen
I picked
my
it up.
reaction.
Yeah, I have seen your reaction to snakes. Last time Andrea did our family photos, she got to see.
She
a snake.
lose her shit?
Yeah, she was a little freaked out by it. I'm trying to remember what kind of snake was it. Do you remember?
Pretty sure one of the bad ones. That are out at your house.
Don't you think all snakes, though, in all fairness, are bad ones?
Oh yeah, I
okay.
totally wrote on God's Facebook page that snakes need to go.
Okay,
bye-bye.
okay.
I
yeah.
feel the same way about mosquitoes and ticks too.
I agree. I think I'm just gonna follow in JT's footsteps, and I'm just gonna move to New Zealand.
There you go.
There are no snakes there.
So if you could only remove one, snakes, mosquitoes, or ticks, or some other animal that I'm not thinking of, which would be the one that you would pick? Would it be snakes?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I'll take a mosquito and a tick.
Even though knowing that snakes do serve a purpose, because I
Fuck
have
them
yet
bastards.
I have yet to figure out what a tick's purpose is.
It's a bug. There is no purpose. Ticks are there for food.
Yeah.
I firmly think all bugs are there for food.
If I could only pick one, I would get rid of ticks first. Even though mosquitoes are the most deadly animal.
So mosquitoes, I don't understand why they're there.
Yeah.
I don't get a mosquito. It's only there to
Isn't the
be a
joke
flying hypodermic needle.
Right.
that
pretty
mosquitoes
much.
are like the national bird of Louisiana or something like
They
that?
make some big mosquitoes down
yeah,
there.
There's a
Yeah.
couple jokes like that.
Yeah, Florida.
I don't know. The ones here are pretty damn big.
Pretty sure the cockroaches down there are pretty big too.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm going to Mexico in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Suck.
Yeah.
You should see how the roaches are down there, man. You know what I mean?
about half
you know what I
smoked.
mean, man?
Half smoked.
Just laying on the ground and shit.
Yeah. I have no idea what to expect.
Have you
Yeah.
ever been?
Nope. Never been out of the country.
Really?
Really.
Don't drink the water.
No.
Okay.
No. Don't drink water. Don't eat ice. None of that.
Well, if,
Unless they tell you you can.
Yeah. Okay.
Some resorts have filtration and stuff.
Sure.
And they'll tell you, hey, we can, but for the most part,
Don't drink the tap
don't
water.
don't open your eyes or put the water from the shower in your mouth or
Yeah.
any of that,
Okay.
because that can give you the squirts.
Okay. Good to know.
it's not that bad.
No, it
Yeah.
can give you the squirts.
Yeah.
They don't filter their water like we do.
I won't be
Right.
drinking it.
I'd say the water that they give you though, like in the restaurant areas and stuff.
I'm sure that's all.
That's all.
It should be coming out of a bottle.
bottled
Yeah,
water.
all of it is.
Yeah.
And heck, by the time you're driving from the airport to there, you may even see like their little stands across the way. Like you'll just see the water
Yeah.
to
Okay.
be purchased. Like we would hear, like if you go to get the big 5 gallons
Yeah.
from like the Walmarts.
Yeah. the
Can I
Walmart-
get the big 5-galloner?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm excited about it, but I have no idea at all what to expect. 'Cause
I think
this
you'll
is
have
a
fun.
completely new experience for me.
So couple tips. Wear comfortable clothes for the flight,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure you wear sandals that are comfortable that you can
Oh,
walk
see, I
in.
hear never wear sandals on an airplane.
Okay.
Are you talking about on the airplane wear sandals, or are you talking about when I get to Mexico wear sandals?
I'm talking about going through the airport through TSA and all that BS.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Why should you wear sandals when you do that?
Because you have to kick your shoes off when you go through.
You have to take your shoes off.
Yeah.
Now,
So is it like a big pain in the ass if you have like
Well, if
regular
you've got
shoes
like
on?
super tight.
if you
you
got
know.
tennis shoes on and you got those suckers laced up, you got to take them off. and
Yeah.
then
I
when
mean, you got to
get
take your
done,
shoes off.
And when you get done through, they're like, get your shit and go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got to take your belt off, anything you have on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it matter if I have an erection or not when I go through
No,
the
I think
line?
actually they prefer that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they can see all that with their little scanners, right?
Oh, yeah. No, they're actually all aliens.
Well,
So they can just, I mean, it's built-in X-ray vision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My favorite is being fluffy. They think that I've got shit packed in places that, come on now.
yeah.
I'm not.
And have they really
They-
tried to search closely?
Every time I almost go through, I'm saying probably 50-50. I always get stopped, the little pat down thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like thinking to myself, so how's the weather? How's your day?
But you never once think, man, I'm not. They think I'm capable of like smuggling a mass amount of drugs in. I'm not that inventive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever think that?
I've always heard
Like
that
you can bring, Matt. You could be a hell of a mule, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't think of it.
I've heard that it's not a
She's moving
problem
on.
to bring drugs into Mexico. You just don't want to try to bring drugs back out of Mexico.
I don't know.
I've heard that before. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't do that. I kind of like living here.
Yeah, I kind of would like to come back.
I don't know that I could thrive in the Mexican prison.
System?
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Mexican prisons are fun. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
maybe
sure
maybe I can link up with El Chapo's guy and have him dig me a tunnel out.
It's great fun. I'm sure my oh shit, man. I'm sure that'd go over real well there.
Have you guys seen El Chapo's wife?
Is she hot?
Yeah, she's hot. She just got out of prison herself.
He was the big drug lord.
Yeah.
One of several big drug
course.
lords.
Yeah. She looks like a
He
badass.
was the one that was didn't he reportedly burn like a couple $1 million to keep warm one night?
Probably. It wouldn't
Had so
surprise
much
me.
money that he
Yeah.
could just throw a stack of cash on the fire.
There's his wife if you want to see
Oh
her.
yeah. Let's check. This is El Chapo's wife. We just did this beforehand, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
The technology.
Right? God, you're killing me,
Here she
Smalls.
comes, though.
All right, come on, baby. Come
Here
on.
she comes.
I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Oh, yeah. Damn.
Well, she kind of looks like
I thought I could. I
There she
thought I could.
There she is. Now we got her.
All right. All right.
Ooh,
There she is.
Goodness.
she's like a.
She kind of looks like Kim Kardashian.
I was
I
going to
was
say
just
she's
an
like a
evil
cracked
Kim.
out
Yeah.
a cracked out Kardashian almost. Lips look the same.
Yeah, and I don't know if I don't necessarily think she's cracked out either.
Well,
but
that one picture she looks pretty cracky.
yeah.
That picture in the yellow though, not too bad.
She probably likes to party, I bet.
Well, that's all speculative. I'm sure she does.
God, I don't know. Like, if you had the opportunity to be married to a guy like El Chapo,
Well, you can't exactly say that, well, I didn't know.
yeah,
How was I to know he was, the largest dealer of
you can't say no.
everything in the area?
Yeah, yeah.
There was no signs. Especially that night we didn't have any heat, and he threw on a couple $1 million of American cash.
So when she was interrogated, she said she had no idea El Chapo was a drug lord, and she's never seen him do anything illegal.
Right.
So that's a good wife right there.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I don't
for
know
her.
if the rules apply in Mexico that they do here, but like in here, if I was arrested for dealing and we had a major, our narcotic ring going on, Andrea's my wife couldn't. You wouldn't be. I guess you couldn't testify against me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if they have the same thing there for
right
their,
in Mexico.
their couples.
Yeah, there's a term for that.
Yeah, I was just sitting there trying to think of it as I was speaking it.
Yeah, what the fuck is the term for that? Basically, you can't incriminate yourself.
So, yes, you can't incriminate yourself or your spouse.
I keep wanting to say double jeopardy, but that's not it.
No.
No, that's you can't be charged.
You
twice
can't-
for
I know.
the
Yeah.
same
Yeah,
crime.
I know.
Yeah.
I
That's
know.
a good movie.
Did I tell you guys that I had a teacher that was on Jeopardy?
Really? Yeah, you did tell me that.
And he won. I had him send me the video the other day because
And he won?
Yeah.
Damn.
I've been watching Jeopardy quite a bit lately, and schooling my wife and kids on it because I'm pretty good at Jeopardy. And so then I was telling my kids all about how I had a teacher that was on there and everything, and then they wanted to see it, so I emailed Facebook messaged the teacher.
Spousal privilege?
Nah, it doesn't.
That still doesn't sound right to me though. I would know it if I heard it, but yeah, I don't know.
You're probably right though.
You don't have to incriminate yourself.
Yes.
If you take the stand, you don't have to say things that will incriminate you. Kind of like pleading the fifth, I guess, right?
No, because I think pleading the fifth implies that you're not going to self-incriminate yourself. So you're probably guilty, but you're just not going to incriminate yourself.
Admit it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, she's not ugly.
It's basically being guilty without being guilty, I feel like.
The older I get, the more I realize that you don't have to be a hot dude to score a hot wife.
Just gotta have the money.
That's a big part of it, I think.
See, that came from a woman right there.
Sometimes.
I'm glad I got you before I had the money, baby.
That's right.
Back then, honey, we were broke, living paycheck to paycheck.
Before you started making it
now,
rain.
through hard work and dedication and years of toiling away between the both of us, we're still broke, living paycheck to paycheck.
That's right.
Direct deposit.
That's right.
Okay, so Andrea, you were talking about being a little bit fluffy and how the people at the airport like to fuck with you because of that. Have you heard all this stuff about Ozempic? All these people that are taking this drug,
Yes,
Ozempic?
actually, my doctor and I had talked about it because I had mentioned to her about like weight loss medication. I just kind of want to know what's out there and how it works and all those good things.
Sure.
And she was saying pretty much that Ozempic was initially, designed to
diabetes, I think,
to
right?
treat diabetes.
Yeah.
They found amazing a side effect was you lose weight.
Yeah.
So then they rebrand it with a different name, but
Yeah.
essentially it's the same thing.
Yeah.
One of the sad side effects of that, though, is the diabetic people that actually require Ozempic. It's completely gone now. There's so much demand for that drug that it's taken away from the people who originally needed that drug for its intention.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I brought that up is because I've got this article here that they did a study on it, and I guess it's got some gastrointestinal side effects.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
That they, obviously they don't want to talk about it.
Oh, well, they never want to talk about side effects.
May increase the risk of stomach paralysis, pancreatitis, and bowel obstruction.
Oh, shit.
Still says they're relatively rare, only about 1% of patients.
Stomach paralysis?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Think about that. Your stomach, you can't feel it.
That would be weird. I wonder if you can
all of its effects, all the stuff, you can't feel that. It's like your stomach's dead inside your body.
Is this a pun? Patients need to weigh the risks and benefits. Weigh? Come on. Man, okay. Before taking these medications.
They're so punny.
Oh, God, now I'm getting a nasty message.
Oh, no, page unresponsive.
I just feel like there's no free ride, man. Like, a medication like this comes out and everybody gets excited about it, and then...
But eventually,
then some shit comes out.
Well, it's just like Fen-Phen.
Yeah, I remember Fen-Phen.
Oh, I remember Fen-Phen.
Yeah.
I think eventually, though, there will be a medication that will be that magic pill.
I had an old coworker that took Fen-Phen and had a bunch of, health issues that she had to watch afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because didn't that shit, increase your heart rate really bad? It was basically like a amphetamine.
It was amphetamine, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Because people were taking it. Kids were stealing the Fen-Phen and crushing it up and snorting it. Because if I remember right, wasn't it timed released?
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and so when they crushed it, it took that time release away. So when you did it, it was like, woo, all at once, as opposed to 5 hours worth.
Yeah, same thing people used to do with OxyContins.
Mm-hmm.
Those were time release, and then you crush them. The first memory I have of kids in my own grade using drugs was either Ritalin or Adderall.
Yeah, I remember Adderall.
I remember kids used to go to the bathroom in the mall and take it. I don't know. I guess they were snorting it. I don't know. I never got into it.
I mean, if we're being legit and talking about real like first time drug use, for me it would have been when I was 4 or 5. My mom and my sister. Now this is minus like every day, you know, smoking and tobacco and drinking and things like that. But they would take those water weight gain pills.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, early 80s, and it would like, you know, it would just make them piss all day long.
Yeah.
They would take these weight gain pills that would rid your body of water.
Yeah.
And
which is not a safe way to lose weight,
no,
right?
No, not at all.
Well,
you can't even buy those pills today.
Yeah.
They were little yellow and red.
Yeah.
Dexatrim?
Kind of like Dexatrim, kind of.
They went the way of the Quaalude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys ever seen
Dexatrim? I haven't heard that in forever.
What's the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where he takes the Quaaludes? Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. I love that scene where he gets out of the car, everything's fine. He gets there, he stops it, everything's fine, and then it's like, but this is what happened.
Yeah. And didn't he complain that that the pills weren't working?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam, the pills were working.
So there's a great interview with Jonah Hill on that, and it's him and Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
And they're talking, and they were like, hey, anytime you see us in a movie doing cocaine, it's crushed vitamin B something. It's like a vitamin.
It was a vitamin. I was thinking it was vitamin D.
Maybe it is D.
You were probably right.
It's vitamin something.
Yeah, I think I've heard that.
But Jonah Hill said that they did so much of it in that movie that he got the trots from it. He was like, we all had the shits from doing so much of this stuff.
Yeah. Take 21.
Right. He's like, all right, back to it. You know?
No, thank you, man.
Hold on. Can we do this one from the John?
Seems like it would be a rather unpleasant way to consume drugs. But
you know, on camera, what else are you going to do? Besides the real thing.
Well, it looks. I mean, that's. that's
besides
a good point.
the real thing,
it's kind of hard to fake snorting something up your
What
nose.
was it? There was some movie I watched one time where they were trying to do that, and somebody played a practical joke, and it was baby laxative that they used instead. And so whatever their coworker or co-anchor or co-star or whatever you want to call them, they were in there like hitting it up, and then afterwards, and like I think it was the DVD commentary, they were talking about it. Yeah, I want to say it was Rush Hour, because I could see Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan doing that.
Oh, have you guys seen the most recent Ninja Turtles movie?
No, but I hear
it was great.
Different.
I thought it was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, like the animation style is
it's completely different.
Unique.
Right? Yeah. Unique.
Yeah, I mean, I can't compare it to any other like animation style I've ever seen, so that was cool. But just like the writing was really, really good. Like it was funny. There were some tidbits in there, you know, like some more like adult
humor.
Yeah, you know, like I actually enjoyed watching that movie with my kids. So, are you kids? Is Jonah into Ninja Turtles? Is he too old for that shit now?
I think he's too old for it now, to be honest.
Figured. He would probably watch it, but he wouldn't be like, I just gotta see it.
Yeah,
I don't know what, honestly, he is into right now that he would just have to see it.
He wanted to see Meg.
The Meg?
What's that? Megalodon.
The Megalodon, but he's never seen the first one. So this was a part 2.
Yeah.
Did he go see it?
No.
What did he end up seeing?
Nothing.
He didn't go see the Barbie movie? Oh, he didn't go.
No.
That's right, he didn't go.
Was he going to maybe see the Barbie movie?
Andrea and our daughter Katie and one of her friends were going to go see the Barbie movie, and they extended the invitation to Jonah and was like, hey, while we're there, I know you don't want to go see Barbie, but do you want to see another movie?
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, I want to go see that Megalodon, the Meg 2 or whatever. And they were like, okay. And then when it got time to go, he was like, I don't want to go.
Changed his mind.
Yeah, I think, I'm
Social
good.
anxiety at its finest.
Yeah.
So you got that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mine didn't really show up until my older years.
Oh, that's when mine showed up.
Yeah, it wasn't really an issue for me as a kid.
It wasn't until about 40 that mine hit.
My kids are pretty much the age where I started.
The pandemic.
I see things that Katie does that reminds me of when my anxiety started to really show.
Yeah.
And then I see things that Jonah, particularly like he'll want to do it, but then the day of or the moment of,
no,
it paralyzes him.
No.
Yeah.
And I used to kind of be like that too.
Yeah.
And then you go through the whole, man, I wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cycle for sure.
It's vicious.
Do they do that? Do they? Man, I wish I'd have done that.
I don't think he's ever really came out and said it, but
I've never heard
I get a sense sometimes from him. Like I don't know if it's just I understand like
maybe
the want to, but then it being like, oh God, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna think?
Yeah.
Do they think this about you're so stuck in your head
Yep.
on a loop that
yeah. I think we all were at one time.
and I think that's just it's even worse when you're that middle school age because you're kind of you're in that in between.
See, that's where I think at least for me, family came in because I had an aunt that just didn't give a damn. And I kind of picked that up and took that. Like my Aunt Jan, she didn't give a shit. She just did.
Yeah.
She
was just her.
Yep.
I think because
Painfully, she was just her sometimes.
we grew up in the small town where everybody knows you, everybody knows your business type thing. I never wanted to be like my mom and my aunts. So like I think I always more so went out of the way to make sure that I went a different way that they did. And so that's where a lot of my anxiety stemmed from is just trying to prove that I'm not them.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, I get that. I don't know, like I guess that's probably where some of my anxiety comes from. Like I had lots of anxiety about being a dad because my own dad wasn't a great dad. But I think most of that was, like you were saying, all in my head.
Well, and because
it's all in
it
our
is
head.
all in your head.
Because your dad wasn't a great dad, you stopped that cycle. And made it like your mission almost to show like your kids what you wanted.
Yeah. Try to turn a negative into a positive, I suppose, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. My dad wasn't a great dad, and I feel like I'm not a great dad, so.
I think all dads have that thought often.
I'm a terrible mom.
I
personally, and I base this off of, fuck, I wouldn't want to raise me.
Yeah.
As me growing up, I wouldn't want to be parented by me.
It's a tough job, man.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the toughest job.
It's hard when you see the things that your kids throw at you and you know that they like your bad habits. Like Katie has my real quick temper. Like when she gets honked off on something and she's agitated.
Yep.
It's just like.
Does she ever get violent? Does she ever punch?
No,
kick,
because
or
that's because they've seen Dad at pretty much his worst, so they know as bad as they get, he can trump them.
Yeah.
And so that at least is still here.
Yeah.
I still have that going on.
A little bit of fear.
We don't have that yet.
Yeah.
My fear is that when Jonah, especially the boy, when any boy in any house, I feel like grows up with a dad, and you start to get that little butting heads where the boy feels like they're starting to be more of a man and they want to take more of a man type role.
Right.
And the dad has problems with that, or the boy can't do it and he thinks he can, but really can't. Either way, that boy inevitably wants to fight his father.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen, I have a feeling, one day here.
Well, just make sure you videotape it.
Well, it'll be an old 77, I'm sure, special.
Extra content?
Yeah.
Bonus content?
Bonus, you got to pay for that. I mean, my boy got popped in the face for you to watch this, so.
Jack has a temper, for sure.
No, this is crazy. Out of Clay and Jack, which one came first?
Clay was a minute earlier.
I'm telling you, that second child is not for the faint of heart. I don't care if they come at the same time.
Yeah.
The second child is not for the faint of heart because Katie is vicious.
Yeah, well, I was the second child, and I was definitely not for the faint of heart for my mom. So
I was the third. What does that mean?
Your theory checks out.
Your theory was they didn't give a shit. They had two already. They could keep another one alive.
Well, the second one was pretty vicious in my case, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's funny because like one of my very good best friends, she's the second child, but I don't feel like she's was the handful. I feel like her other two siblings were the handful,
which is kind of unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott, put me on the big screen, dude.
Woo! Big screening it with Dave. There it is.
There it is. Me some UFO news this week.
Yeah.
This is in above China apparently.
So from what I've heard I read this morning while I was taking my morning constitutional.
They look like little rice hats.
Yeah, they do kind of. Yeah. It looks like from Mortal Kombat, it's Raiden's hat flying through.
But it's black.
Right.
Yeah.
So this came out today. This was video from an airplane. I heard it was a hot air balloon on mine.
Oh, okay.
But video from up in the air, basically, from China. of a car-shaped UFO, and I was telling Dave,
car-sized
or a
UFO.
car-sized, yeah. I guess not shaped, sized.
Yeah.
So a car-sized UFO. But I was telling Dave, this is some of the clearest pictures I've ever seen of it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like the Jetsons
if it's real.
Yeah, if it's real. I don't know. I wish I could see the actual video. There might be a link in here. This website is clunky. Like, it keeps telling me that it's like having trouble loading, so I'm afraid to click on a video. But I'll click around and find it eventually.
I mean, we've been looking around for it, and this is the first one we found.
What is that? What's going on in that second picture? Where
I don't know.
It
looks like
missile.
something. Yeah, it looks like something shooting up out it.
Yeah, it's like a missile or some shit is being shot up in the air, and I don't know what the fuck it's coming out of. That big black thing on the bottom. I don't know, but I mean, it definitely looks like your traditional, stereotypical flying disc. You know?
That's definitely the flying saucer.
Mm-hmm. So okay. So obviously, you guys know this is a topic I enjoy talking about, learning about. They've got that new show on Netflix called Encounters.
Yeah.
It's 4 episodes. Each episode is about a different case. And, you know, my wife is very much a skeptic. And
a healthy skeptic or just a skeptic?
I would say a healthy skeptic.
All right.
So we watched with her. I watched the second episode, which was about the one in Zimbabwe, the aerial school.
Oh, with the kids.
And by the time we got to the end of that episode, she told me that she believed those kids. Yeah.
How many kids were there?
60. So
1 or 2, I could see.
There were 60 kids that witnessed it. There is one kid who says that he made it all up, but everybody else sticks with their story. And if you watch, you can watch the videos of those kids, like, you know, a day or 2 after it happened. Yeah. You can tell those kids are not lying. I'm not saying that they for sure saw aliens or whatever, but I'm definitely convinced that they believed what they were saying.
Well, they saw something, man.
Yeah.
I think they saw something.
Yeah. I do too.
100%.
I do too. And they even interviewed one of the teachers there, who then revealed that she had had abduction experiences before this thing happened, and she had them after they happened. But at the time, she didn't tell anybody about it.
She was the teacher of this class?
She was one of the teachers at the school. Yeah. One of the many teachers at the school.
What are you thinking?
I don't know.
And she's like a very blunt, straight shooting type woman, was the impression I got of her. Yeah. And that was the one where John Mack from Harvard came and fucking flew out there to Zimbabwe and interviewed all the kids, and came to that same conclusion that that something happened, and that these kids were not just, you know, making this shit up out of thin air. So that's the second episode, and that's like one of my all-time favorite UFO cases.
I was going to say, you've talked about that case for a long time.
Yeah, that's
long time.
Definitely near the top of my list of like the most compelling, most convincing.
I just thought of something else we can talk about. There was new monoliths discovered at Göbekli Tepe.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Over the weekend.
That shit real quick here. Okay.
You'll have to check those out because they're big. They're statue-like.
Okay. Let me find out here. Göbekli Tepe.
And so, if you guys are familiar with Göbekli Tepe, which I know Andrea is, she's totally up on her Göbekli Tepe.
It's good stuff.
You know,
it's good stuff.
This is a settlement in modern-day Turkey.
Correct.
That our current understanding of history, our current level of understanding, the current model that archaeologists use and follow, everything that they're using and everything that we're taught to believe says Göbekli Tepe shouldn't exist.
Yeah,
they're saying that this is a time when we weren't farmers, we were hunter-gatherers, we weren't stable, we weren't together, we weren't as tribes living in cities, we were moving around. And according to them and their theory, those people don't have the intelligence to sit, or the time, because they're too busy doing other things, to make monolithic structures. Like, why don't you see pyramids? Why don't we have giant things, you know, from the past? Göbekli Tepe is one of them.
Yep.
Then we also, you know, they've also found that one of the weirdest things that happen at Göbekli Tepe is the further back they go, because it's a bunch of smaller sites together.
Yeah.
It's a site here that for some reason they tore it down or it got filled in, and so they'd move over and they'd build another site, and it just kept going. And the further back you go, the pristine, the amount of craftsmanship, the level of precision, and the care it took that they made all of these monoliths in this thing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But the earlier you get to today, the crappier it gets. So what that tells us is back in the day when it was fantastic and it was great, that was the height of their civilization.
Right.
They had craftsmen that were able to do things that we can't do today.
Yep.
And then later on in their civilization, they were just making copies of it. There's a great example of this in the Amazon jungle. They found I think it was the Olmec area of, I'm just going to whip out a name here. So the Olmecs, they found an area in Mexico City where they found a jar. It was like a jar that you would store stuff in, but it was made completely, it was a hollowed out piece of granite. They don't know how the hell they made it because we can't really do that today.
Right.
We can't do that. But somehow they hollowed out a piece of granite. And then years later, they found another one that looked just like it, only it was a clay pot that they had taken dirt and stuff and pockmarked it to make it look like a hollowed out piece of granite.
Right. And that was
they didn't know how to do it.
And that was the newer piece.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break, and then I'm gonna pull up some pictures of Göbekli Tepe to share with Andrea because I can tell she's
so she's there. I got her hooked. Fish hook right here
in this conversation. But Göbekli Tepe.
See later on tonight, she's gonna roll over and go talk Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah, tell me.
You're talking about that, and all I can think of is that Scooby-Doo episode where they find the city under the water.
Yeah.
Show me your monolith, baby.
Please ask to see my monolith.
How's this for an advanced civilization? Hey, let's thank our Patreon subscribers.
Hey, man, let's.
We'll start with Cassie Cass first.
Let's do that. What's up, Cass? What's up, Curly?
Let's start. Let's end up with the homeboy Kev. The good homie JT at the Paranormal Sun. We're going to talk about him.
Get you feeling better, brother man. We got an update for you guys and our listeners coming up later.
Our good boy, our good buddy Jamie Rector at In the Groove Records.
Go see Jamie at In the Groove for all of your vinyl needs, turntables, CDs, all that goodness.
Needles,
get out there, do your thing.
Not hypodermic.
Jamie is great with that. He
vinyl.
Can help you.
We're talking vinyl here. Get your brains out of the gutter,
for
folks.
all of you audiophiles, get to In the Groove.
That's right. And last but not least, our good homie Dub IZ.
Because
Are
apparently,
you serious?
Yes.
Dub IZ is not the last. We have one more.
Not the last.
We have one more. Co-host of the show.
Oh well, Biscuit.
Oh yeah, screw that guy. Right?
I did that on purpose.
I know you did.
Love you, bro. I miss you, man. All right.
I need you to come back, Biscuit.
I'm gonna wipe these tears off of my cheek and, of course, go pee. And,
right.
And yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you; those aren't tears.
No.
Back after this, bitches.
There's a feeling around, it's America sound. Pepsi people feeling free. Free to choose a new way, free to stand up and say, you be you and I'll be me.
When you catch that thirst for living, then you need what Pepsi's giving. A Pepsi lift, a Pepsi gift for feeling free. Hey! Join the Pepsi people. Feeling free, feeling free. Join the Pepsi people. Feeling free, feeling free. All across the nation, it's the Pepsi generation. Here today, here to stay. Feeling free.
It's an oldie but a goldie. Welcome back to the old 77, friend.
Yes, we are back. We are back.
That's right.
Me and Scott have taken a quick trip down the rabbit hole during the commercial break.
Oh my God, did we ever?
Right before the break, we were talking about what were we talking about?
There was a new discovery at Göbekli Tepe.
Göbekli Tepe, and if
That's
you
right.
don't know what Göbekli Tepe is, Google it because it's fucking awesome. GOBEKLI.
You're gonna do that from memory?
TEPE.
Damn. I'm impressed, bro. I want to have your babies.
Well, I mean, because if somebody just said Gobekli Tepe,
do that again for me, Dave.
Gobekli Tepe. Gobekli Tepe.
I'm sure there's a couple of umlauts and a fucking hyphen and all sorts of shit up in there, right?
Probably so, man.
Yeah.
What
we
are
had
the
a really good explanation of what Gobekli Tepe was, though, before.
What are the things they put
back.
above the E's? The little lines that they put above the E's, like in the word resume. What are those things called?
Oh, I don't know what those are.
Yeah,
I know the two little dots. That's the umlaut.
Umlaut, yeah, and that's more of like a German
I always think
Dutch
of
type thing.
Think Motorhead.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of. I think of German like Farfignugan. I'm pretty sure has one of those in it.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Take Home a Sack.
Tacoma Sack. What was that from? I remember it, but I don't remember the
Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake. Yeah,
right.
Man.
When you go to Steak and Shake, don't forget to take home a sack.
Tacoma Sack. God damn, you just took me way back in the way back machine.
Tacoma
there,
Sack.
Yeah, fuck. You just cracked open a part of my brain that I didn't even know still existed.
That's right, Mr. Sherman. Oh wait, that's right, Sherman. I'm Mr. Peabody.
Yeah. So we were talking about Gobekli Tepe, and
let's get back on topic. Jesus, dude.
As if we ever really have a topic that we stick with. So on the big screen, well, we're not up there yet, but that's okay. We were talking about, Scott informed me, I wasn't even aware that they
the fuck are we looking?
They found some new shit at Gobekli Tepe.
Yes, so a couple of new monoliths, right? Mm-hmm. Big statues are found at Gobekli Tepe. This place is like the gift that keeps on giving, man.
Yeah, they keep finding shit.
Right?
And the crazy thing about Gobekli Tepe is most of it is almost like perfectly preserved because it was intentionally buried.
So right there, go back, Dave. Dave. So this, the main structure identified has been dated to be pre-pottery Neolithic A, PPNA. This is from around the 10th millennium BC, with further remains of smaller buildings from pre-pottery dated on the 9th millennium BC. So they're finding old stuff. Like, I'm talking old stuff.
Yeah, that
like,
would be
3,000
years ago.
10 BC.
Yeah. 3. That
and
would
now they found one for 9. Oh, hey, by the way, this shit's old. That one over there's even older.
Right. And this, so when you go that far back, when you can prove that something is that old, that presents a problem for archaeologists because
modern ways of thinking.
Well, exactly. Because, the modern narrative, the modern story is that these people should not have been advanced enough to be able to create these types of things.
Now, most people don't know this. I mean, unless you were really, into this as a kid or as an adult or whatever, but most people were taught to believe that there was a civilization that they started farming and they were making hand tools and things. They called them Clovis.
Yeah, the
Clovis people. Yeah. They made these specific arrowheads. They're Clovis arrowheads. Can you pull one of those up, Dave?
Yeah, sure.
So these people made this specific type of arrowhead. So we called them Clovis. Clovis was pretty dope. I mean, they were your precursors to modern man. Let's be honest. They were. They were dudes who got shit done. There you go. That's what they made.
Is that it?
Yep. And they were really good at it too, bro.
Is there a difference between a Clovis arrowhead and just a so-called regular arrowhead?
I think it was the way. So do you see how all of these arrowheads are fluted? And they also have their ends, like their edges are all chipped away?
Yes.
That's what makes them Clovis.
It's almost like the equivalent of like a serrated knife, the way that they do the sides that way.
Especially that black piece of onyx.
Yeah.
Could you imagine getting that thing stuck in you?
Wouldn't be fun, man.
Well, and then on the way out, dude, it's still sharp, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some new knives a while back.
Yep.
And I was so used to my old shitty knives. Like my old knives, I could literally pick them up by the fucking blade and nothing would happen.
Yeah.
So the other day I got a little bit too comfortable while I was doing the dishes and fucking hit the blade to the finger and cut a nice little chunk out of my
that's the worst.
Out of my finger. But yeah, these things don't look like they would be fun at all.
No. Man, I always get reminded I have this memory as a child of my father and my grandpa on my mom's side teaching me how to whittle with a knife. And I remember my grandpa telling me, you never pull it towards you and do all that. But I always remember my dad saying, it doesn't matter all that shit, because that was my dad.
Yeah.
He's like, all that shit he's telling you, it don't matter. If you carry it, you're going to get cut one day. And I was like, oh,
some
fuck,
wisdom in that
he's
too.
right.
Yeah.
And, every time I've cut myself with a knife, it's like, well, I carry it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get cut, and there it
takes
is.
you right back to the to
immediately
your dad
hear my
saying that
pop
to you.
hear me that, tell me that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, so modern conventional wisdom, at least up until now, said that the people who made these arrowheads were probably the ones that we're going to start seeing things from, like, I don't know, pyramids, monuments, things like that, because at some point, the past, whatever they made, it's just going to be relegated to the past. It's going to crumble. It's going to go away.
Everything but the stones,
Everything but the stones.
As you can see right here, because these arrowheads are still around.
Yeah.
So then we kind of veered off into just megalithic sites and things in general, and
well, then along came Göbekli Tepe, and that's when things changed. Man.
Yeah, but
I didn't even know about it until a few years ago, to be honest.
Oh, really? You didn't know about Göbekli Tepe?
No, I never really kept up on my new archaeological sites. I knew that there was stuff out there, but I didn't know to the extent of what Göbekli Tepe was.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Once I hit that rabbit hole, dude, I dove in that well hard.
So the other thing we were talking about is the similarity that new human-looking structure that they found at Göbekli Tepe. His hands are positioned right on the sides of his waist.
It's like kind of like this, right?
Yeah, and there
looks like he's holding his wiener.
If you look at like the statues at Easter Island, it's the exact same pose, and you can find these different statues on basically all 7 continents, and many of them all are holding that same pose.
Yeah.
You were talking about, Scott, a bunch of them on different continents are holding little bags.
Yeah, the bag and the bracelet.
Yeah, and up on the screen here, I've got a picture of some different megalithic sites where it almost looks like they're able to like take rocks and like melt them. And then, put them into any shape that they want and then put them together. But we've got examples of this same exact style of architecture in Egypt,
right,
on Easter Island, in Cuzco, in South America,
right,
which suggests that whoever these people were, they were able to communicate with each other, right?
Well, somebody said something,
right?
I mean,
because
we can't do well. Somebody said something back then because we can't do that today.
Well, if our history is correct, at that time when these things were created, nobody on Egypt should have been able to talk to somebody in fucking South America, or Cuzco, or wherever else.
But at the same time, Egypt and Luxor, right?
Yeah,
is this they're doing the same pattern as they are in South America there. So that third picture is the same as that second picture at Giza. Also, that first picture at Luxor, almost the one at Luxor, almost identical. Could be that one at Cuzco.
Here's another example.
And you know what else is the same? They both have pyramids.
And here's another example of that, man. These are pictures of pyramids that have been found in South America.
See, I was just going to say, they also have mummies, too.
And in Africa and in Asia. And you look at the similarities between these things. And there was a picture similar to this that I'm thinking of in my head that I have not been able to find with other archaeological examples where they put these buildings side to side.
Oh, yeah.
And the similarities are uncanny. It's crazy. So, and then here's...
So then that begs to differ. Do you think there is a lost civilization out there?
Yeah, I definitely think...
A master lost civilization?
I think that humans have been very technically advanced in the past.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And then that there was some sort of cataclysmic event, most likely an asteroid strike, and we...
Do you think that could have been the Perseids?
They think it was the Taurid, that the asteroid came from the Taurid meteor stream.
That's the one that they talk about. But do you think anything could have possibly came from...
I mean, it could have been any asteroid at any time. I think it was an asteroid.
You think it was an asteroid?
I do, because we have evidence of it, and it's been basically proven at this point. Because at first it was a thing that only Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson were talking about. But now they've had, peer-reviewed scientific papers now that are backing up their theories.
A lot of stuff is coming out now that is backing those theories up.
Here's another image of very, very similar artwork from all different parts of the world.
That's another one. Here we go, right here.
Look at that bottom row. You have this ancient Navajo artwork.
The Celts, the Persians, the ancient Rhodes, the Andes, they all have a guy holding 2 poles. It's like he's skiing, almost.
Kind of on some of them, yeah.
You know?
The arms are bent in the same exact motion. And then the second row, I don't even know how to describe the shit on the second row, but
it looks like there's a man holding apart 2 animals.
Yeah, like in one of them, he's holding like a goat's horns.
Well, in one of them, so in ancient Italy, it looks like there is an angel holding 2 people apart. In ancient Persia, it looks like there is some kind of deity holding 2 goats apart, but all 3 of them are connected at the waist.
Yeah.
In ancient Mesopotamia, it looks like a gigantic...
Almost looks like a dragon or something.
I was going to say, I don't even honestly know what the hell that is in ancient Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
Something's going on there. In the Minoan one, it looks like a big bull is holding apart 2 either dogs or big horses in front of a backdrop. In ancient Phoenicia, it looks like 2 big swans are being kept apart. They're facing each other.
Stop looking at me, swan.
Right. And somebody's in between them. And then in ancient India, it looks like there's glyphs up at the top and then a person holding 2 vicious beasts that are attacking each other apart.
But the similarities.
But they all look the same.
Similarities are crazy, man. Yeah, no, I definitely think that there are parts of our history that we are completely amnesiac to.
But you know what? On this page right here that you have pulled up, let's go to some of the oldest. We have, of course, Mesopotamia. I don't really know what the hell's going on there, but it looks like something is holding 2 things apart. I can definitely and clearly see that.
Each image in that second row is of a person in the center, and it looks like they're holding 2 animals at bay.
2 animals, two things that are fighting, right? It looks like there's conflict going on and somebody's trying to keep it apart.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like to me.
It's one way you could interpret it, for sure.
In almost every single one of them, there's 2 things that are on opposite sides of one single figure. And then when you go down to that third row, there's that one single figure that's just doing what it does.
Yeah.
And then that top line, man. I mean, like I was saying earlier, we go back to some of the older ones. We go up to the ancient Sumerian one. You know, there's a person clearly in the middle of something going on.
Some of them it looks like they're holding 2 snakes apart.
And some of it looks like there's 2 birds like flanking them.
That Sumerian one, it does kind of look like a bird almost, or 2 birds. But then you go to like Crete. That looks more like a snake or something to me.
Yes.
Some type of serpent.
But so does the person in the center too. Right?
Which
the
one?
Center person, their legs, there's no legs. They just, it looks like they're a serpent themselves.
You talking about the Greece one? Or the Crete one?
The one in Crete. Ancient Crete, the first one.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a person with really skinny legs because it looks like I can see. I'm pretty sure I see feet at the bottom of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are feet. It's just a skinny person.
Well, I mean, look at the Etruscans. My man's a stick figure.
Right. And to me, that's just different interpretations of the same thing.
But I was going to say, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like every single one is the same.
It's just like if we're
not striking a pose, we're trying to help by holding 2 opposing forces apart, or we're being flanked and displayed like between 2 very regal birds, it seems like.
Right. So many great examples of that, man.
But then also back to what we were talking about too, with the handbag and the bracelet with the accessories. I mean, that itself is
Ancient handbag of the gods. I
Right.
think this might pull it up, Scott. Yep, there's
ancient
some examples.
handbag of the gods.
Yeah,
there
seriously.
you go. Yeah,
The-
what's inside this? Does this does it signify that this person is something special? Because you see it in Egypt, you see it in Mexico City.
Right.
You see it in some of the stuff that they've found even in China.
Sumeria, Turkey, New Zealand, Central America. They all have depictions.
Central
of these,
America.
Yeah, of these creatures holding these handbags.
They have for whatever reason they have this handbag.
They look surprisingly similar
Yeah.
to a purse.
Right.
They typically feature a rounded handle-like top. That's the other thing that's similar between all of them is the top is rounded.
Like it's a handle.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. I know what it is. I just figured it out.
What is it?
Mary Poppins. She's been around forever.
I thought you were going to say like Louis Vuitton or like a Louis Vuitton
Mary
bag or something.
Poppins. And she's got a bag that just goes and goes and goes and goes.
It's a simple and straightforward representation of the cosmos. There's one theory. But they don't know. They really
either
don't know.
way, this bag clearly signifies that figure is of some importance.
Yeah.
You know?
And I know like in this particular image here, that tree-like thing, that viney looking thing on the left, they think represents basically like the tree of life.
Okay.
And that same thing can also be seen in many images, this tree of life looking like thing.
Who is the figure, do you know? Does it say?
It doesn't. It just says it's from Assyria.
Oh, wait, right there. The oldest depictions of handbags
Nimrud.
is Göbekli Tepe.
Interesting that Göbekli Tepe is the oldest ones that they found.
That's the oldest ones they found.
11,000 BC.
So there you go.
So yeah, they have theories of what these things might be, but they don't know for sure. I keep getting this message that the
page unresponsive.
Yeah, he does that shit.
Is the page unresponsive? It's got a lot of pop-ups up there.
It keeps
we need to get a pop-up thing. I mean, we need to get our own dedicated. You know what we honestly need, Dave?
What do we need?
We
Scotty?
need a sponsor, brother. Someone who is just filthy rich and just wants to see some art.
Pay for our shit.
Right. Gladly.
You should get your new employer to sponsor us.
I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I don't think that they probably would.
But they are using my talents to try and.
Yes, they are.
I'm trying to create my own little thing there. I got a road kit that it all folds up.
Did you make some cool shit this week?
I have.
Yeah.
I got it upstairs.
Oh,
you want to see it later?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Pretty
later.
fucking cool, man.
Scott's gonna show me his.
I'm gonna uncover mine and whip it out. Excuse me while I whip this out.
I'm excited, man.
But no, man, I've got an SKB case, one of those hard shell molded cases. It's gonna be pretty dope, bro.
Have you ever seen this image?
Yes. Now, forgive me. This is the Aztec god. Is it Colacan or Culican?
This is from Tabasco, which would be modern day Mexico, I believe.
Okay.
Doesn't say who the character is.
But this is the dude going to heaven, right? And it looks like he's flying a spaceship.
I was gonna say I've always a lot of times people think that it looks like a man in a spaceship.
Yeah, there's an Aztec relief, and I want to say they found it in Mexico City, where it was like on a tomb, and it depicts like whatever this dude is going to heaven, and it looks like he's on a spaceship. It looks like a speeder bike from Star Wars.
Yep, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Bags, which you'll find discussed in many different videos on YouTube. I'm going to examine one of these videos in particular, one of the more popular ones.
Oh no!
It's found on the Ancient Architects
We're not going to watch
channel,
this guy's
run
whole
by
video.
Matt Stibson.
But there are whole entire videos out there dedicated to solving the mystery of what the fuck these handbags are.
Oh god, yeah. But it's
what
funny
do you think it is, Scott? Do you have a guess?
Dude, I honestly don't know. It's that important that they took the time to carve it in.
Yeah.
So that handbag had to have been something.
Definitely. I don't think there's any doubt.
Maybe that handbag was a part of their technology. Maybe it was like storing things. You know, I'm just spitballing here, but wouldn't it be pretty cool to have a bag that just had unlimited storage?
Yeah.
You know, and especially when the rest of the people that you live with on the planet can't even, you know, can barely start a fire. All they know how to do is fuck and procreate.
Yeah.
Because that's about all they were doing back then. Hell, half of them are still monkeys, I'm sure.
Supposedly.
You know, maybe that handbag was whatever you came here with from your planet or your... So maybe it was an advanced piece of civilization or tech that somehow wound its way into the popular like mythos, and that's how they recognize that person, and that got handed down.
I don't know, and you would think you would find references to it in ancient texts, you know,
Just
like
spitballing
they
here.
would talk about it in the Bible or talk about these things, and you know, the Upanishads or the.
But you know, maybe they
Bhagavad
do.
Gita.
Maybe they do. Maybe we just haven't paid the right
figured
amount of
it out.
attention to, or figured it out.
Maybe somebody's already figured it out.
You know,
and
maybe-
just you and me are too dumb to know that so
Maybe,
far. Yeah,
maybe.
That's a real.
You
I'm
know,
pretty sure that's a real possibility.
Maybe some of the holy relics that people hold dear and you know, things that they see, like miracles and things that happen. Well, maybe that's science to somebody 400 years into the future.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So who's to say that technology isn't here now? We just don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
And that leads us into UFOs, because if they're right, we've got UFOs that have been here for an exorbitant amount of time.
Right.
Long time.
Yeah.
That we just stumbled across.
That would
That's the claim, right?
that would just look like magic to people.
Imagine a caveman coming across something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It would literally be like magic.
He's
and-
still wiping his ass with his hand,
See,
right?
I think
Can't
it's-
function properly up here. Can't think.
I think it's totally possible that Jesus was a real person and that he maybe came from somewhere other than Earth. And
I don't know if necessarily he came from Earth. Maybe he was a real person, but maybe he was saved from something not of this earth. Instead of being resurrected and coming back, maybe he was resurrected. Maybe he did come back. Maybe he did ascend, you know, in the sky, but maybe he was, you know, headed to Alpha Centauri instead
Right.
of, you know, going home to dad.
yeah, I think that's totally possible.
Maybe Jesus was the first Star-Lord.
Yeah, I do.
Take that, Marvel.
I do think that a lot of the ancient religious texts could very well have
Dude,
some
I
of
got
the
to
things in
get the
there.
mummies off. I love mummies, but I got to get the mummies
Are they
off.
freaking you out? I was trying to
Nah.
open up this other website here, but this for some reason this one won't close down
No.
for me.
That's a shame.
So Elon just launched 22 more satellites the other day. He keeps launching these motherfuckers up,
Right?
and people keep seeing them, and they keep thinking that they're aliens, and they keep not being aliens.
Thank God. Thank God for that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I wish
Elon Musk, good guy or bad guy?
I think overall good guy. I think
I
he
feel like he wants to do, but he won't.
wants to do what?
Did you ever watch the Alien movies as a kid growing up?
I actually have never watched them. I know, shocking.
God, I
right?
hate you so hard right now.
Shocking.
I love you, Dave. Don't-
Thanks, buddy. I
don't
love
ever
you
be that
too.
way now. So in the Alien movies, the whole underlying premise, if you will, was all these people knew what they needed to do to stay alive. But their
Yeah.
job, they worked for the Weyland Corporation, right? And at the end of it, it was like, I think, the whole Alien saga, Ripley was, you know, like I think 600 years old or some shit like that at
Yeah.
the end, and it's a clone of her. And
Ripley is
so,
Sigourney Weaver's
yes,
character, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So spoiler alert if anybody's not seen the one with Winona Ryder, but they
okay.
they end up cloning her, and it's like, you know, ridiculously long into the future, and she says, you know, this thing, whatever you make, it's going to wipe the corporation out. And they're like, oh please, the Weyland Corporation got bought out years ago, and she's like, really? So now there's a bigger one that's just as bad, if not worse. And so it just goes on to show that human greed will always be there. So you have to be bigger than the actual corporation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to give the corporation what they need, not what they want.
Yeah. I've always heard that those movies I've heard that they still stand up today.
Oh, the first two Alien movies are fantastic.
As far as they're still are pretty terrifying to watch.
And that first Alien movie, man, I'll never forget the first time I sat down and I watched it when I was a kid. Because I feel like if you don't get that certain window, you're gonna miss it, right?
Yeah.
So I watched it as a kid, and it cuts around, and you see this like corpse, for the lack of a better word. It's a giant husk of they called it an engineer, and it's a person. It looks like a person, but only twice as big. And you're like, what the hell is that? And they're like, we found it out here.
Terrifying.
And it's like, oh my God, that's awesome. And then that's when you find the aliens and all that.
I don't know why I've never watched that movie.
Just seeing that first, when they're out there doing it, and it's
of all the movies that I haven't watched that you should be shocked that I've never watched, that should probably be at the top of the list, right?
Right?
Wouldn't you think? A movie about aliens. And those are some scary looking aliens too. Those aren't the nice kind.
So those are the you find out later, those are the engineered kind.
Yeah.
They're a bioweapon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for spoiling it for me, dude.
Well, I mean, if you've ever watched Prometheus,
nope, never.
And see, without that first Alien movie, you wouldn't have the whole line of Prometheus. Because Prometheus is, well, what happens after we find out we've got aliens out there? Well, we send this whole colony ship to a planet that we found, because that's what we do. We try to colonize shit.
Yeah.
And one of the colonies comes back with, hey, we found aliens here. And they're, oh, really? And so then the corporation heads that way, and they put an alien, I guess, protocol in one of the droids on the ship. And so its main focus is to breed the aliens, unbeknownst to the people.
Nice.
And his name is David. And David becomes a thing later. Like later on, David and this other gal, so Prometheus, dude, there's this scene in it where this gal gets an alien in her, and she's wigging out, and she has a baby. She thinks she's pregnant, but really it's that alien. And she goes to this, birthing pod or whatever, and it's designed to do emergency cesareans all automatically. And she does an emergency cesarean and rips this fucking thing out of her. And, it's something else, dude.
And that's the moment she realizes that it's an alien?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think she knew before that, because I don't think you'd rip your kid out. But
for being a guy that's really into aliens, I'm really not in. I haven't watched a ton of, sci-fi type stuff.
That just surprises me, man.
Oh, it's because I like reading and watching documentaries.
You would rather see the real thing and not have the horror element introduced.
If the real shit is horrific, I want to know about that. I just am more interested in the real shit, I think. And I've always been that way, man. I've always been a nonfiction documentary type person.
I kind of like it both ways, though. I enjoy my my mythology.
Sure.
I love that, but I also love my mummy movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brendan Fraser's mummy movies. All the others suck. Just saying.
You're talking. I was going to say you're talking
cinematic
about
fucking masterpieces.
Talking about the actual mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. Okay, I thought you were just talking about.
I'm sorry. Is there any other
movies about mummies?
Is there any other?
Like documentary movies about mummies.
Some of them are good.
Yeah.
I watched. What was the last one I watched? I think it was on Netflix, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But it was a group of archaeologists were out in the desert in Egypt, and I think they were also in the Valley of the Kings, and they were looking for a quote-unquote hidden underground pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they've ever found it or not.
Did you finish the whole thing?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Is Zahi Hawass in that one?
I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, if Zahi Hawass is involved, I probably won't watch it.
Yeah, I feel like there's one more...
because he's only in it for him.
Yeah.
And I don't like that about him.
Yeah.
When he was younger, if you don't know who Dr. Zahi Hawass is, he is the Antiquities Director of Egypt currently, and he will be probably till the day he dies.
Yeah.
He will make sure of that, I am sure.
Yeah.
But this guy is a fucking rabid bulldog, man.
Yeah.
And if he sees you and gets you locked in his sight, you are done.
If he doesn't like you.
If he doesn't like you, or for instance, he came after St. Louis's art museum several years ago because they had it was an Egyptian artifact traveling whatever. It was on loan from some other place.
Yeah.
And come to find out, one of the exhibits was sold through some kind of backwater deal in Egypt, and it got in a legal collection somehow, and then they checked it and did whatever, and Egypt came a-calling for it, and they had to relinquish it, or they were going to lose some kind of accreditation in museums.
Yeah.
Like, he was seriously going to shut them down.
You ever wonder how much...
A guy like that shouldn't have that much kind of power, though,
Right,
is what
that's
I'm
a lot
getting
of power
at.
to
That's a
have.
ridiculous amount of power.
You ever wonder how much shit you see in museums is fake?
How much shit do we even know, though?
Surely
we're there to see it.
Surely you've been
All
to
it's
a
got to do is
museum
look old.
and seen some fake shit before, you know what I mean?
Do you know that, though, or not? I mean,
No, you don't know.
Those Clovis arrowheads.
Yeah, you don't
People
know.
know how to make that shit today.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
I just wonder if I could wave a magic wand and when I walk into a museum and magically see
I don't think you could.
if there's anything fake in there.
Because I feel like all the real shit is going to be in storage.
Yeah, well, they do keep a lot
They're
of
only
going to
display.
In the storage.
They're only going to display the fake shit in case it breaks.
Yeah.
You can get another fake one.
Yeah, or just the stuff that's probably not as highly coveted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for instance, back where I'm from, in Fillmore, Illinois, there is these giant turtles, right? They're as big as Volkswagens. They found 4 of their turtle shells and a few other, bones and remains and things.
Yeah.
And this is I'm talking during the dinosaurs, mega fauna is out and about.
Yeah.
And they found these things where I'm from.
Wow.
They had a big archaeological dig in the early 90s. The state of Illinois has their own The State of Illinois Museum. I think it's the Museum of Illinois History, I think, in Springfield, Illinois. Anyway, they dug these 4 turtle shells up and shipped them off to the museum, and I think they took plaster casts of them, and that's what they display.
I saw some other shit today. Yeah, here it is. Scientists say they've confirmed evidence that humans arrived in the Americas far earlier than previously thought. This is what Graham Hancock's most recent book is about. And now they've
actually found it.
Now the
where are they saying this was? New Mexico?
This is and these footprints are
New Mexico is not exactly near any kind of ocean.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's closer than, say, Washington State.
Yeah.
But,
it's a good place to find things like this.
But I mean, where did those people come from?
Those look like those look like they could have been made, a week ago.
That was very muddy. That turned very rocky over several, hundreds, if not thousands of years?
These are 21,000 to 23,000 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, dramatically pushes back our timelines of our history in the Americas. I can't remember when they say that they think humans first arrived in the Americas, but
there's definitely. I mean, I'm with Graham Hancock on this. There's something there's something fishy about what we've been told.
For sure.
Faux show.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up, man.
But I think
something's happened here before.
I think we're going to learn a lot, man. Just in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have a wider picture.
What if we get full disclosure in the next 5 to 10 years, and that full disclosure is whatever saved us, to begin with? Maybe something else is coming, and they're here to help us again. I
don't know, man.
I hope not. I mean, I hope that's not the case. But
I don't think we'll ever get full disclosure when it comes to our history or UFOs.
Maybe.
I don't think they're ever going to come out and be like, hey, this is everything.
Maybe when we die, they're like, you know what, man, this is really what happened.
Well, I think when you die, you do get full disclosure.
Do you? I like to think that when you die, it's like this movie that I can't remember the name. I'll try and think of it at the break.
Yeah.
You actually get to go to this place and view all your past lives.
Yeah.
I
don't know the movie, but that sounds like a pretty cool movie.
Right, so you go to the Hall of Reflection or whatever.
Yeah.
This one dude in the movie, he just saw himself getting eaten by a lion 4 times. Damn. He was like, damn, this again?
Fuck, man.
And then his friend that he met, she was really hot. I think it was Meryl Streep at the time. She was she fell asleep as a 90-year-old woman, and then the next one she was I think she was a 99-year-old man wedding an 18-year-old woman. Then the next, all of them are perfect for her.
It's a good way to go if you're a 99-year-old man. I thought you were going to talk. You said wedded. I thought you were about to say wetting the bed.
Oh no.
My kid wet the bed.
You were getting married.
My kid wet the bed last night. And fucking lots of it. Hey folks, we're going to take a break.
I'm writing bedwetting story.
We'll be back right after this. I'll give you the full bedwetting story. Yeah, when we get back. Stick around. We'll be right back after this.
Pissy on the old 79.
Open wide, America. Burger Chef's got thick, juicy, terrific burgers for you. 100% all beef. We really work hard to serve them hot and delicious, so you can take them to our works bar and make them taste even better, the way you want them. You're gonna love our burgers.
Open wide, America. You never can forget. You get more to like at Burger Chef.
Yeah.
Oh, hey there.
It's time to cool it down on the old 7-7.
Oh,
Safe place.
Unsafe world.
World.
You know drill.
You know the drill.
You have drill in mind. You understand.
You listen long time. You know, it's not what we like to do on this show.
If you listen a long time, maybe you should check out patreon.com/the old 77 podcast.
You know, I mean,
you know,
cup of coffee.
Hey.
Now, see, I just went.
You did?
I went straight to Brooklyn.
You
there.
went Jerry Seinfeld
As soon
on
as
me.
I said coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah.
It's coffee talk. We'll be whatever the hell you want us to be. Just go on over to patreon.com/the old 77 podcast.
Talk amongst yourselves.
We'll talk amongst ourselves over there. Go ahead and check us out. Trust me, you're going to like it.
You're gonna really like
You're
it.
going to love it. I think Dave was playing the guitar beforehand, just saying. I think you're going to like what's coming up.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I'm sure I'll fuck it up.
I'm still a little stiff.
I'm sure I'm sure I'll fuck it up when we actually are on the air. I was playing Every Breath You Take by Sting.
And it sounded great.
Not
Because he
not
had
the
a
first few
capo,
times.
like, cranked all the way down.
Yeah.
Loved it.
You got to have long fingers to be able to play that one. Yeah. It's one of those things that where, like, if you're watching somebody play it.
Oh, that looks so easy.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's doing anything hard because it's not like
it's
not fast.
Yeah.
It's not a fast thing, but it's a you have to be a gymnast with your fingers to be able to play these chords.
Right.
And you really do, having long fingers is an advantage,
And
which
you realize
I do not have.
after trying to play something like that, why these people didn't have any kind of funky home life or anything, you know, why they didn't have any friends, because they were always inside playing their damn guitar.
Yeah, it's a thing
You
that
I forget we don't have another person here.
you get obsessed with it sometimes. Or especially when I was young, I got obsessed.
Did you ever pick the guitar over the ladies? You know what I mean, Dave? The ladies.
Yeah. I mean, in a situation where, like, I could either get laid in that moment or practice the guitar, I would get laid for sure. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
All the time.
yeah. But
Did you ever use the guitar to find the ladies?
I'm sure it's helped me a
You
time
think?
or two. Sure,
A time or two. He says.
sure. I'm sure it's helped.
Well, it's kind of helped a time or two.
It can't hurt.
You know, you'd like to think it couldn't hurt, right?
But
oh,
But
dude.
that being said, what happened? Did you break
I think
it,
I just
Scott?
broke something, bro.
Did you break the stand?
I did.
Scott's over here
over here
twiddly-deeing with
twiddly-deeing.
our camera angles, and
This is called Fuck It, We're Going to Do It Live.
that's right.
That's what this is called.
That's right.
For all of those who don't know, this is a quick technical term. You have now been let in the know.
That's right. But I've never had like the experience where the girl just like wants to throw herself all over you because you can
Really?
play the guitar. That's not never. I've never
No.
had that happen, unfortunately.
That's a shame. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. It's always the drummers, man.
Right? There's just something about
It's always the
there's
drummers.
just something about someone in the band who can keep parts,
Well.
equal part time with every different part of their body.
It's all about the rhythm, right?
Right? Those ladies like that. I'm telling you. Well, the ones who would, chase after you, they like that. I feel like they like that.
Yeah, they like fast tempos. Okay, sorry.
I think Dave was getting excited
I
there
got
for a minute.
stuck. Got stuck in my head there.
There we go.
For a second.
Sorry for all of you guys watching. We said fuck it and did it live.
I think I just got the nap, bro.
God, I hope so. I'm so tired.
I'm
of
pretty
these
sure I just caught his ass.
fucking gnats.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Nat is no more.
So if you're looking at that camera right now on the screen at Dave, so that's pretty good. That's not too bad, right?
Oh God, they can
The
see
picture
right
on that looks pretty
now.
damn good. So that picture, that camera, come from the Ben store. That was a $1 camera.
HOB.
Yeah, you know me.
Bitch. Oh yeah.
So I'm fixing to go back the next dollar day, and I'm going to grab everyone that I can find because they've been there for 3 weeks now. And I'm going to build another road kit with one of those boards down there for us here at the old 77. So we can jump in and at any point go mobile.
It's an incredible time we live in, my friend.
I know, man. When I can get cameras and AV equipment and all that on the cheap.
Yeah.
It's almost disposable now. It really is.
We're headed that way.
Speaking of cameras, I have so many cameras in the camera graveyard here of the old 77 podcast.
Yeah.
Where there's, I'm not gonna lie to you, I bet I got 40 cameras in here somewhere.
Wow.
But there's an absolute junk pile in here of crap that I need to get out.
We've amassed a lot of stuff in the past.
We have
3 years.
How is that? Have we been doing this 3 years now? Going on 4?
What episode is this?
We are on episode 177.
It's 52 weeks in a year, bro.
But we have missed, I think, maybe. I've prided ourselves on we've only missed a handful of shows, at least under 10. And the shows that we did miss, one of us went through, mainly me, but I think Maddie went through a couple of times and made like a best of show.
Yeah.
So at least we had some kind of new content or repurposed content.
I still think I can count on one hand the number of weeks where we've just not recorded.
Yeah. I mean, we've been pretty faithful.
Yeah.
We've done this for a while.
Yeah, because 52 weeks in a year, so that would put us at 156 would be exactly 3 years worth if you did one episode per week, and we're at 177.
We're at 177. Well, and that doesn't even count all the extra episodes that we record and put in with, because after our normal episode, we do our Patreon episode too. So there's over 300 of those.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot, man.
It's a ridiculous amount.
It's slowly added up, man. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Right.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long already, right?
So between episodes of bonus content, there's easily 300 videos that you can go and watch, on patreon.com.
And we haven't even talked about your OnlyFans yet.
Baby.
Ooh, man, look at this guy. We got some good-looking dudes in Jeff City that just got busted.
Oh, yeah? Have we got a picture of them?
Yeah, we should pull this up.
Okay. Are you?
Oh, my God, that's my dad. No, I'm just kidding. That would be fun.
Dude, I had my finger on the button like, don't do it, Scott, don't do it.
That would be
But
funny.
really, deep down, I was like, do it.
Now,
I could see that being your dad.
This guy, not good. Not good what he did. I don't even want to talk about what
and
he
he's
did.
from Fulton.
Honestly.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say child sex of some sort.
Pornography.
Yeah.
But there was another guy underneath him that looked even more like a fantastic citizen. Knife attack.
Oh, wow. Look at that dude.
This is Bald Hill Road.
Where's that?
That's over kind of by Eastland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like normally
go
not.
back up. Let me see this dude.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Casey Mathis. I don't want to say anything bad about Casey because I'm afraid he might stab me to death if he hears this.
Yeah, but at the same time, his head does look like a penis now.
Yeah,
right? With a little slit at the top.
With red ejaculate. Sorry, bro.
Damn, bro. I'm sorry, man. That looks like it hurt like hell.
Maybe we should cut this part of the episode.
Nah.
I don't want to die.
We're not saying anything bad, man. Other than your head looks like a penis now. Damn, I wonder why you're getting that.
I don't know. Trying to see.
What the fuck is that?
Just a stupid ad.
That actually looks like somebody that...
It's all bullshit.
Okay.
Even like legit websites or news sites have some stupid ads. All right, I should read this.
Yeah, you should.
One of the minors told deputies they were driving to a friend's house and missed their turn.
Okay, so clearly this has minors involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said when he tried to turn his car around at the Castle Rock storage facility, Casey Mathis, the guy in the picture, hit his car with an unknown object.
He just like showed up and smacked his car, gave him the old, I'm walking here.
When he got out to confront Mathis, he said Mathis tackled him and began punching him.
As you do.
The other minor told deputies he got out and pulled Mathis off his friend. Mathis, he said, got up bleeding and tried to attack him again until he put Mathis in a chokehold and he stopped fighting. They said they were able to get back in the car and drove down the road to check the car for damage. Mathis reappeared with a knife, they said, and began lunging and slashing at them with the knife, but never cut them. The miners told officers they got back into the car, drove further down the road, and called 911 while he chased after them. One of the miners had injuries to his neck and arms, while the other had injuries on both hands.
Fucking hell, man.
They said the car had damage to the passenger side mirror, front quarter panel. He was arrested. He seemed to be under the influence of an unknown substance. What a shocker.
We think he might have been.
Well, he told the deputies he was in the area to buy drugs.
Yeah, you're not really the soberest if you're telling the cops, well, I was here to buy some drugs.
Seems like it. Said the woman was not home.
Found two knives in his bag.
And he thought she was in the car the minors were in, so he thought that these kids were
keeping her from him.
Were her drug person.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Poor bastard.
Deputies said they spoke to the woman Mathis named. He named her?
Good for him, I guess.
And she told them she had been home all night. Did not know Mathis. Man.
I love the look of just shock and awe that we cut to Dave with.
It seems like meth to me.
I was just going to say, it's pretty methed up, man.
Seems like meth to me.
Maybe it's methylene.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I like to just check out the old KRCG website.
Look at that.
I don't check KRCG every day because they don't update it very often, but every 2 or 3 days you get some gems on here, man.
Maybe it's methamphetamine.
That's what it is. Did you hear my voice just now?
I know, man. You're wheezy too. I'm really picking that up.
I am wheezy.
Oh yeah.
It's that asthma, man.
Dude, when you get home tonight, just call me up. Don't say anything when I pick up.
Yeah?
Hello? Just breathe.
I'm going to use my inhaler live on the air. Everybody ready for this?
You ready? You ready?
You got the good camera
I don't know
angle?
about you, but I am. Hold on, let me get it. Hold on. Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet, Dave. Don't do it yet. Okay, ready? Do it. Do it, Dave. Do it.
Then you hold it in for as long as you can.
Like weed.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Give it the quick exhale. See stars for about 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Everything gets a little wavy.
Wavy Davy.
I'm just kidding. Nothing like that happens.
Okay.
But let's see. Let me do one more, and then let's see if you notice the difference in how wheezy I am.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just going to ask if you were moving on up or where George was.
I'm Lil Wayne, bro.
Because you're Wheezy Jefferson.
I'm Lil Wheezy. All right, let's see.
I'm Little Wheezy.
Let's see what happens now.
All right. Ooh, still wheezy.
No, not as much, though. Watch.
It's an oxymoron, man.
I'm a lot less wheezy, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
You don't hear like the like you heard before, right?
No.
Right? It's much more clear now. Now it just sounds like breathing, right?
I guess, yeah.
Seriously?
Heavy breathing.
I
think it's still there a little bit.
I notice a huge difference.
Well, it's because it's you.
There might be a slight wheeziness.
Yeah, it's still there.
Hey, maybe we could branch off and do one of those ASMR podcasts.
I would love
and I could just do this for the whole show.
Right. Dave is breathing.
Yeah.
Like this.
Oh, man, that inhaler's really awful.
That inhaler worked great for him. I can do an entire podcast like this.
Hey, Scott.
We can ASMR the fuck out of this thing, bro.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, do you have some peanuts?
I got these nuts.
I would like to crack some peanuts. Live on the air right now on the microphone.
We've got some walnuts and some Brazilian nuts.
Do you have a nutcracker?
No. We have to put them together and crack them.
Sorry, I broke character, man.
So that ain't happening.
That's right.
So there you go. We tried to ASMR.
That show's been canceled. Ooh, Columbia woman wanted for arson in Dunklin County.
Dunklin County. Where's Dunklin County?
Arson is always one of my favorites.
Wow, I was not prepared for that statement.
Well, I don't wish arson upon anybody, and I certainly have never committed it. I worked with an inmate who did.
Yeah?
Yeah, I worked with an inmate.
Was it like a sexual thing? Or?
No, and I can't remember the story. I remember he was from Minneapolis, though.
Oh, that's creepy.
And he was gay, but he didn't want the other inmates to know he was gay. And
so there was like a shame thing involved?
Somehow I found out about it after he left the prison. I don't know.
Got the shame cave
Some
involved?
other inmate got word that dude was gay, and somehow that word got back to me. I don't know. Prison's an interesting place, man.
I feel like prison's high school on steroids.
Not with steroids, but with knives for sure. And other drugs.
On steroids,
Yeah, and drugs for sure. There's lots of drugs in prison.
Oh, I bet. You go to prison to become a criminal, right?
Well, you certainly come out of prison a better criminal in many cases.
Prison's like college for criminals.
Yeah, and I hate to say that because, the area that I worked in was in rehabilitation, and I did take my job seriously, and I always tried to do a good job, and I always was hoping that I was helping guys prepare themselves for getting out, because eventually 96% of them, I think it is, eventually are going to get out. And do you want a guy that
and out of that, how many are going to stay out?
The recidivism rate is high.
I bet.
And I have heard stories of guys that have
institutionalized men like Brooks, from
like guys
Shawshank
that
Redemption.
have committed crimes specifically because they just wanted to go back into prison. Yeah.
Yep, just like I was saying.
Because it was like the only life.
That's all they knew.
They knew.
Well, like Brooksy from Shawshank. He'd been in there since he was 18.
You don't have bills when you're in prison.
He was a 76-year-old man when they released him.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a very interesting little sociological experiment, but goddamn, we could do a lot better.
We could do better than prisons, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying that prisons don't have a purpose,
right?
But man, there are so many things that we could do better. And don't give me this shit about you care about inmates more than you care about law-abiding citizens. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from if 96% of these dudes are going to end up getting back out and becoming your neighbor. Don't you want them to hopefully be prepared to be able to do that productively and
not
lawfully?
Come back and re-offend?
Right.
Lose.
It's good for everybody.
Yeah. Well,
it should be good.
It should be good for society, is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm an
idealist. You want society to be better, so you root for them.
Yeah. I generally speaking, I root for everybody.
Yeah.
But I've always identified with underdogs and with people that. People that might have unwholesome qualities, I guess you could say.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been the guy that if you tell me to do one thing, I will immediately do the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like that in most areas. I was too afraid to get in trouble most of the time.
So was I.
To do all those things.
And now I just don't care.
The only thing that they told me not to do that I did a lot of was drugs. That was it.
That was it.
I did a lot of those.
And see, it's funny because I grew up in a family just heavy smokers, right? They smoke cigarettes all the time, right?
Yeah, my mom was a smoker for a long
I've never
time.
tried a cigarette.
Good for you, man.
I don't want to try a cigarette.
They're gross.
I mean, it doesn't smell good.
No.
At all.
And, it's funny because I grew up in a house with a smoker, but she quit when I was maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And
lucky.
And I never noticed it really bothering me much as a kid. But then after she quit smoking, then after that, if I would be around a smoker, it would trigger me.
Would it trigger you?
Like it literally could at times would take me to the point of throwing up.
Yeah.
The smell of it would trigger me.
Well, it wasn't until years later. I spoiler alert, I lived at home till I was 25.
It's okay. There's a lot of guys that are older than that.
I didn't have enough money to move out, to be honest with you. And I didn't have a partner to move out with.
It's a pretty common thing these days.
I didn't have anything, and so things were tight. I didn't want to. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
I moved out of my mom's house and then I moved back in for a while. I think that was that was after me and my girlfriend broke up.
Now, is this the one that saved you?
Yes.
The OD one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I get it, dude. It's a pretty common thing these days for
dudes to stay home
dudes
forever.
Still living at their parents' house.
I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing.
And usually it is for financial reasons.
Yeah.
That's
totally what it was.
It's fucking hard these days.
But what were we talking about? Because I was going to link it to that.
Arson?
No, not arson.
No, okay. Prison life? I love a good arson.
I know you love a good arson, bro.
I don't know, man. I can't remember.
I don't either.
Dang it. You know what happened that's good?
What? What happened that's good?
The writer strike is over finally.
Oh, that means we can finally get good TV again?
Yeah.
Well, what did they finally settle on? Did AV lose or AI lose? AV. Did AI lose?
It's
because the nanny waged war against AI.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what the writer's strike was.
Yeah, that was a big chunk of it, I think.
Yeah, I think that sums it up nicely.
They wanted protections against AI taking, over their jobs, basically.
I'm not gonna lie. That's something that's gonna happen.
Well, from what I heard, it seems like they got a pretty good deal.
Yeah. I hope so.
And I'm not well versed on that shit.
That is something that is going to be the model for the nation moving forward, I think.
Yeah, could be.
Is this because this is
except that most people don't have the power to strike these days, and so they're going to be fucked.
No, but future like cases will be based upon this. I believe
it'll set a precedent.
You'll have future precedent that is set because of this case.
Yeah,
because of the outcome of this case.
Sure.
That is something that is a big hot button issue right now amongst lawyers that I just found out.
Yeah.
I am someone that deals with lawyers now on a daily basis.
Poor bastard.
All right. So I kind of have a little bit of insight to that world, and they are totally they don't know what to even think about or do, and they're starting to do seminars and things on it.
Yeah.
On AI in your practice. How can you implement AI? How can you help it, underwrite and do different sorts of things that you would normally have to pay or.
I was going to say, aren't they terrified that people are going to be able to get legal advice from AI now?
That's potential too.
I would be terrified of that if I were a lawyer.
But the thing that you have to bank on is that the AI now is going to be running off of outdated information.
Okay, expand on that.
So, say the AI tells you that you have a legal case, but within the past 2 years, the law has changed, and now you don't have a legal case. So the information that the AI would give you would be accurate to a point.
Yeah.
I
feel like eventually they'll be able to find a workaround and they'll be able to keep that shit up to date.
I guarantee.
Really, really quick.
But it won't be free.
Yeah.
That's the dividing line right now.
How much time are you spending fucking with AI these days? Are you still using ChatGPT a fair amount?
Bro, I use ChatGPT to write policy for my department. Last week, I'm going to use it to write work process flows. I'm going to use it to write I used it to write a workplace dispute and conflict resolution policy. I'm going to try and use it because I just found that my Adobe subscription has also a link to where I can get other non-advertised apps like Dreamweaver, for instance. I can go and get a version of Dreamweaver, turn around, have ChatGPT write us a website in code using Dreamweaver, and then just plug and play, hopefully, and we can make a website. I want to do that, and then I want to reach out and try and get the old 77, podcast.com or whatever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I want to try and do that. Hopefully that's one of our next steps as a podcast to grow. I mean, we've been stagnant for just a little bit, but man, life kind of gets in the way, if you know what I mean.
It happens.
I had a whole lost summer there where I didn't have a job, so had to kind of, scrape to get by a little bit. It was like the old days.
Yeah, it took you back to your 20s, huh?
Had a lot of ramen noodles.
Oh, dude.
Matter of fact, we had steak tonight.
Did you?
And ramen noodles.
Yeah?
As a side dish.
Yeah, really?
To take it back, to show you that you can still have some yummy shit. But
now, did you have beef-steak?
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind did you have? What cut? Ribeyes? Yeah.
I enjoy a good ribeye.
Did you grill them?
No.
Well, how did you do them?
Andrea makes them.
She made them? How did she make them?
So Andrea has this patented pan skilling, skillet method that she makes her steaks in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a friend of hers taught her how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like a steakhouse steak every time.
Really?
And it's fucking amazing.
Yeah?
Today, Katie actually said, Mom, your steak is better than Longhorn.
Nice. That's
and I was
impressive.
like, that's not true, but pretty close.
I got to have Longhorn steak yesterday because it was my mom's birthday, and we told her that dinner was on us, and she requested Longhorn, so, of course,
Well, I told the wife in June that whenever I do get a job, like my third or fourth paycheck, right, I'm going to Longhorn. I don't care if anybody comes with me. I'll go eat alone. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go eat a steak at Longhorn because for me, I don't know why, I love the Longhorn. Longhorn is a bit of all right.
Let's have a test
all
now.
Right,
let's see if my wife listens to this show.
Okay. Well, we're in the third segment about good way through it.
Sometimes when I have a little extra cash in the wallet, at lunchtime,
secret time with Dave.
I'll get myself a little Flo's filet from Longhorns.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Like if you get them at lunch, they're like $20,
Dude, and if you get that to go, perfect.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yep.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I think I've done this twice, so it's not like a thing I do often. But I would like to do it more.
Yeah,
I would like to have more extra money in my pocket and be able to treat myself to a steak. Yeah. How do you feel about Texas Roadhouse?
I like Roadhouse.
Yeah.
I would rather have Longhorn.
I'll be honest. The steak that I got at Longhorn's last night was not great compared to usually what I get. Now, normally I order medium rare.
Mm-hmm.
The wife placed the order and she ordered me rare, and it was pretty fucking rare. Like, I
love those.
I love a rare steak, and I ate the whole thing. It wasn't like I was like scared that that it was.
Oh, it wasn't mooing or anything.
I'm not one of those people that worries about that. At least not with beef.
Right.
But
beef.
But then I'll say this, man. I've been to Texas Roadhouse now 4 or 5 times, and I've always gotten pretty fucking good steaks from there, man.
The only I've had a few issues with the Roadhouse.
One thing I don't like about it is how fucking loud it is inside there if you eat in.
Same thing with Chipotle. It is so fucking loud in Chipotle.
Really?
Yeah, have you ever been in Chipotle during the day?
The one on the boulevard?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the only one. Is it the music, or is it just there's too many people?
No, it's the music. Yeah. They'll have it cranked up, and they've got those funky speakers that have the bass at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they're elevated, so as you're underneath, like waiting in line, you just hear.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, stop it.
I don't.
Stop it! I can't.
I've eaten.
I just want my burrito bowl, and I want to go the fuck home.
Right. Yeah. I feel the same way about them coming out and fucking hitting cowbells and singing people happy birthday and making them fucking sit on saddles and shit.
When they do the line, okay.
It's so stupid.
They do the fucking line dance shit. I hate that.
I don't like any of that
Anytime that you have to make your employees wear "I love my job" on their shirt,
yeah,
they don't love their job.
Probably
I'm telling
not.
you,
Yeah, probably not.
They don't want to go out there 5 fucking times a night and do line dance and shit. They got tables to bust, motherfucker.
Yeah. Hey, man, I've got lots of respect for people that work at restaurants.
Yes and no.
I was one of them.
You got to be. You got to want to do the hospitality shit.
It's a tough
right?
job.
I don't want to.
That's why I respect those people, because it's a tough job, and sometimes you got to do it when you don't want to do it.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's a job you chose to do, so you got to expect. It's like the army, right?
But maybe you chose.
Thank you for your service, but at the same time, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why do you volunteer to do that?
Well, because you can't find a better job, probably. It's tough times out there, man.
Well,
Some
is
people
tough.
are just taking what they can get.
I'll give you that.
They're not working there because they love.
Well,
it.
nobody.
Just like you said, the shirt. Like
nobody wants to do that shit.
Not very many people do.
I don't know who wants to work
now,
in kitchens.
I will say that, not kitchens. There are
at least in this day and age. I don't know any Well, oh God, this is going to sound horrible.
You can make good money as a waiter.
You can.
Or a waitress.
And I feel like this is extremely horrible. So I
Can't wait to hear it.
apologize. I feel like if you are white, you do not want to work in a kitchen.
Why?
I don't know, because I never see any white people working in kitchens. And the white people that I do see in kitchens, and sometimes black people too, so I won't just stick it to the whites. Because sometimes you'll go into like, we used to call this, for instance, there was this, it was straight in the middle of the ghetto. It was an IHOP in St. Louis. So we called it the ghetto IHOP, right?
Yeah.
So, and it would be staffed with black people, and sometimes it would be clean, sometimes it would be dirty. So I'm not saying that all white people stuff is dirty, but not all black people stuff is dirty. Mm-hmm. But genuinely, and I find this more often than not, when it is someone of Hindu descent, or a Hindi type descent, or someone even of maybe not full on like Chinese, but someone of that ethnicity, generally the restaurants are cleaner. Like for instance, we went into this IHOP here Saturday. My son Benjamin, his birthday was Wednesday, and we couldn't make it, so we went on Saturday, and we all went to St. Charles, had a great time at the Chuck E. Cheese, went buck wild at the Chuck E. Cheese for a solid hour. Good. And then afterwards we went to IHOP, his favorite restaurant he picked. It was just up the road, so that's why, another reason we picked the Chuck E. Cheese. Mm-hmm. And dude, it was the cleanest IHOP I've ever been in. It tasted just like the old school IHOP. It was great. Yeah. And I looked, there wasn't a white person working in there. Yeah. Every single one of them looked like they were of Hindi descent. Okay. They were all Hindus working in there. Yeah. And our waiter actually had the Hindu dot on his forehead.
I see. And it was the
cleanest. I never had to wait on a drink. The guy got a great tip because he gave us amazing service.
Good.
I think one of the waiters hit on a gal that was next to our party. So that was awesome to see, Yeah. They were like, hey, how's it going? I was hoping he'd be like, knock 15% off your bill if I can knock the tip off, But he never did.
Well, I hope...
But I hope good to that dude.
I hope he was successful in his attempts, man. It's it was always very hard for me to hit on chicks, man.
Dude, I can hit on a girl and I can flirt with a girl, but I can't seal the deal. I never could. Yeah. So as funny as you want to be, you can make a girl laugh and ha ha ha, but if you can't actually take her pants off, you got a problem.
True.
That was me.
Yeah, I was kind of that way too sometimes.
I was too busy fumbling around, worried about the things that didn't even matter.
Like what?
Well, what does she think of me?
Me too.
It's probably the zit on my forehead, isn't it? Oh my God, I knew it. I look like this. I'm hideous. Oh, and in reality, she was like, oh, I really have to fart.
Yeah. She was thinking the same.
Or she was thinking the same thing. Oh, God, I hope he doesn't see the zit on my nose.
Yeah. I think it's just the way of nature that when you reach a certain age, you look back on those days and you're like, you think of all these occasions where you were in there, man. You were in there like swimwear, but you couldn't seal the deal. Well, I can think of lots of those occasions. And I
think that all goes back to how we were raised too as kids. Were you comfortable enough around women to do that?
Right.
I was not.
I got nervous around hot chicks, and I'll be honest.
God, yes, I did.
Still get nervous around hot chicks.
Right? You're going to walk in the house tonight, and you're going to get so fucking nervous.
I don't get nervous around her.
That's because she hasn't intimidated you yet today.
I haven't seen her yet today, except for at about 4:20 in the morning I saw her.
I was going to say, what time does she go to work, man?
She goes to work out at like 5.
So she goes to work at 7, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 7-ish or 8-ish, I guess.
But she's up and in the gym at 5?
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. That's dedication.
Yeah.
No thank you.
Yeah, dude. I feel the same way.
No thank you.
Anything having to do with the morning that I can avoid, I'm all about that.
Unless it's morning sex.
I'm
down for some morning sex.
I will say this. The morning has become more tolerable to me in the past few years. And
God, not me.
I don't know.
It's the older I get, the worse it is.
Oh, I still have the complete sense of doom when my alarm first wakes me up in the morning.
Yeah.
But usually I can get over it pretty quick these days, but not always.
Within the past, I'm going to be conservative here and say past couple years, whenever I wake up in the morning and I first open my eyes and I hit that light, I instinctively just hiss like a fucking vampire, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why.
Yeah. I've always liked the night better.
Me too.
Speaking of the night,
I've always found 6 a.m. to be a lot easier to stay up having a great time too, as opposed to getting up at 6 a.m.
100% agree. Speaking of things that happen in the night.
That's right. Things are going bump in the night. The Old 77 Halloween episode will be coming up soon.
Coming soon.
We're probably going to talk about it right after this episode on patreon.com/the-old77podcast.
That's
there
right.
for just, chump change, my friend. For the price of a Starbucks coffee, you can,
right.
get yourself some Old 77 exclusives.
I'm using that next time I go there.
Oh, we go to Starbucks and then we go to Donnie's.
Yeah?
Yeah, when we go to McDonald's.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Fuck that place.
I used to call it McRonald's.
Biscuit has AIDS.
Yes. Not really, and I'm sorry to everyone who's listening who has AIDS.
No, he really does. And we love you guys. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Stick around for After Hours.
Whew. Bitches. Couldn't said it better myself.